Alright, so in this video I'm going to talk about whether it makes sense to merge your equipment beyond Mythic, so to Mythic +1, +2, +3, or whether it makes sense to dismantle them for runes. It kind of depends on the scenario you're in, and so I'm going to just break that down further a little here. And when I'm talking about your spare Mythics, I am saying your Mythics that you're not actively using. So if you're using a farming setup with a sellswords equipment, you should keep those. If obviously all this S tier gear you're going to want to keep, especially even if you do have spares, you're going to want to keep them to a bit later in the game, just because the conditions where you want to dismantle them are a little different. But in general, for your regular just spare Mythic equipment, so like a spare Mythic sellsword sword, what you're going to do is you're going to want to utilize it as just feed to merge your Mythic archer and barbarian equipment, but just because these are going to be your early mid-game ones you're using, to at least Mythic +1. And after that, I would kind of stop for a second, just because that's when we're going to want to transition into dismantling for runes, because by going to Mythic +1, not only do we get a base stat increase, but we also are going to get an increased level cap up to a level 100, and that's just going to give us more attack and HP stats. From going to Mythic +1, it's really only a couple of thousand attack and HP, but it definitely is helpful. After you get to Mythic +1, you can generate even more spare Mythics. In order to go to Mythic +2, you'd have to have like your Mythic +1 archer bow, plus 2 other Mythic +1 pieces of equipment. Doesn't matter what they are exactly, as long as they are the weapon type. They have to be the same type of equipment. But really, I wouldn't immediately jump to merging your archer and barbarian stuff to Mythic +2. What I would do then is go over to the Slime Village. It's going to take a second here. But then you're going to go and dismantle your spare Mythics. And I actually already did dismantle my spare Mythics. You want to definitely make sure you have your S quality Mythics excluded for now. But all your S tier Mythics, you're going to just click on them and dismantle. And that's just because then you're going to have a chance of getting different runes. You can get rare up to epic runes from your regular just Mythic equipment. And this is going to be helpful because these runes will provide some pretty nice stats. So in general, before even considering going to Mythic +2, what you're going to want to do is make sure you have all epic runes on your gear. And ideally, you want to have certain runes. And you can see I actually don't have very great runes on my weapon. I have Shield HP, which is an alright one. And then all these other ones I don't really care for, but that's just what I have at this point. When I get some more Mythic, just spare Mythic equipment, I'm going to dismantle them, and then I can either hopefully get some good epic runes, or I can get some other lower tier runes that I can merge up to epic, and hopefully that's good. This one's a bit better of an example where I do have a okay hit. I have a good hit rate rune. My HP's just okay. As far as my armor, I do have that 10% attack rune and then a rare hit rate rune. So in general, what you're looking for is all epic runes, and then if you can get attack speed, HP, and then hit rate are really good. A shield HP one's okay, but this is kind of what you're going for here. Ideally, you just have them all epic tier, and then at that point, once you have those all epic runes, and one thing to make sure you note, if you find a rune you do like the stat for, make sure you hit this lock button. So just when you collect more runes in this rune page, you don't auto merge rune stones that you do want to keep. But this can just be helpful just because, as you can see here, these runes do definitely give good stats, and a lot more than you're going to get from getting your gear to Mythic +2. After you get all your epic runes that you're wanting there, then you can consider going to Mythic +2, especially I'd say depending on how close you are though to getting good S tier equipment. If you're right on the verge of getting a full piece of Mythic S tier equipment, like a full death set or you have Mythic Nyx / Dragon Slayer, then I would hold off, and because you're going to want to invest in those and get those to Mythic +1. But thanks for watching. Hope this answers some questions. Let me know if you have any more, though.